You're live.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is Selena Roane, your host for Close to Death. Tonight, I'm not going to really have a guest. I may have a special come in and call in the middle of the show. But what I want to talk to you about is the experience that we all had at Sloth Furnaces this weekend in Birmingham, Alabama. I want to thank, first off, Carol Malone and Dark Side Entertainment, her husband Mike, and everyone involved that was there that put on an amazing event. The place was, shall I say, put in the top 10 of my bucket list for a damn good reason. It proved itself to be everything I thought it would be and then some. I feel honored to have been amongst a lot of really, really cool talent, a lot of people with tons of different types of paranormal experiences and experience itself. 20-plus years, here with Justin, he has 20-plus years in it. I had people like Gary Brown from Spirit, Equipment. I had Jeremy Leonard there from, Ghost Quest Para. Just Lee and Matt Brown. Just some really, really cool people. Blaine Rohan of Scare and his team. A few of his teammates were there. The whole group we meshed like family. It was such a nice atmosphere. And with everything going on, Carol was filming her show with her group and her awesome camera guys and stunt people, and then we were filming Spirit Quest at the same time. It was a little crazy, but all in all, it worked out. It was freezing cold at Sloth, but there was so much activity that it really, to be honest, it didn't faze a whole lot of people because it was so exciting what all that happened. When in the world on an investigation that you go to, an event that you go to, do you get to see people set on fire to reenact something that actually happened at Sloth Furnaces? There was a guy who died there, and they were trying to prove if it was by accidental ember from a spark from something, or was he actually set on fire by use of some accelerant. The awesome thing about Carol and her team, PACC, is that they do forensics. They are the godfather of forensics in the paranormal world. They are the ones that have that kind of thing cornered. They have went to classes for this. They are certified. You can't even order things to do the forensics unless you have that license. And they did some very cool forensic work. I've never seen forensics done actually in person. I watched CSI like everybody else, and have been interested in how it all works. But to get actually done was extremely cool. There is another legend, pretty much fact, that a man was eating lunch next to a huge flywheel, and he was sucked into the flywheel and killed. Well, needless to say, the forensics that we did, or that they did while we were present, turned out that there was still blood on that wheel. I don't even know how to describe the coolness of everything that we got to witness at Sloth Furnace, and things that never actually occurred on a normal investigation. When you go on an event, you normally don't get to see cool things like forensics being done. You normally don't get to see the things that I saw at every location. I've been to several locations, and I have to say that Sloth Furnace has impressed me so much that I have got to go back around Sloth Furnaces. It's a very dangerous location, so you definitely need permission to be there at night. There were a couple people that were trespassing, and you can get hurt really easily there, especially at night. It's really dark, and there are a lot of places that may not have grates. and you may fall. Watch your feet down. So it's not a place to be trespassing, and we definitely had permission to be there the whole entire time. But some people did trespass, and, you know, we also ran them away, ran them off. But I have personally never seen so many shadow figures, heard voices, had so many experiences, and I was not the only one. I believe that I would say the majority of people that were there had some sort of an experience during this event. I know that a friend of mine who has abilities was actually taken down by psychic attack, and it was kind of scary, actually. There was people, ladies getting nudged. Scratches were recorded. I mean, this place was off the chain. The staff there, totally friendly, very informative. You know, just the actual look of the place is, A, it's creepy, but B, it's also breathtaking, because you go, man, how in the world did they lay all this out? How in the world did they do all this? How did all this work? You know, just so many questions, but you can almost picture in some areas how hard the conditions to work must have been. You know, there were people that were having personal experiences, as far as a friend of mine cannot recall 10 minutes of the evening. You know, I'm not real big on orbs or anything like that, but a photograph that was taken of my friend while this experience was happening to him, red orb right on his back. It's really strong. And again, I'm going to put a disclaimer in here. I am not big on orbs. I think a lot of them can be explained. Most of them can be explained. But when you have something in a photograph that coincides with actual activities that are happening, it's hard to say, nah, you know, that's just a piece of dust or whatever. And, you know, there was a lot of cleansing going on after sloth. There was a lot of things that kind of was a little bit scary. There may have been a girl pushed down face first. We don't really know. It was really kind of strange. We don't believe she tripped. We actually believe she was pushed unexpectedly. When you trip, your body kind of knows, oh, crap, I'm falling. Well, and your brain, if it reacts quickly enough, it would say, okay, put your hands out so we can catch our fall, so we don't bust our jaw. Well, she really didn't have time to do that because it was an unexpected. She didn't actually trip. So that kind of was unnerving a little bit. She kind of bummed herself up just a tad. And, you know, we also located one of us located a building that no one had really been in. That was, how did he describe it? I think Jeremy described it as being a gateway to hell. When he opened the door, it was just like a whole different ball game in there. Now, at Sloth, and take them directly to Sloth and promise them jobs and you know, housing and pay stuff. And they would come down to Sloth, and they would pretty much be owned by them. The housing was owned by Sloth. They didn't get paid in actual money for a long, long time. They were paid in clackers. And those clackers would be only good at the company store on the premises of Sloth. So when they say you owe your soul to the company store, that's where that comes from. I kind of joke and said it's kind of like another huge corporation. I'm not going to name names. I'm sure you're smart enough to know that when you work for a corporation as big as this, and then you get paid, and then everything is right there at your fingertips, guess who gets the money right back? Well, they do. kind of like that, but the conditions were way worse back then. They had very little medical care, if any. The food was not quite up to par. It was just pretty much like a modern-day slave type thing, and it was really horrible because, in my opinion, slavery is one of the most hugest abominations of our history, and it makes me so incredibly sad that actually took place. Because I just can't fathom the thought of a human owning another human. It doesn't compute with me. So for them to do the same thing to these people, like pretty much own them, and whatever debt that the parent that 185, which is quite a bit, and that's just recorded. But there were a lot of times where they didn't have, really any use to keep records on some of these folks. So they would just kind of do away with them. And that's pretty interesting stuff. But sad as well that the conditions were so horribly bad. Now, in the summertime, when these furnaces were running, they would get up anywhere into the 140-degree range with the people, and they barely breathe. In the wintertime, they said it was so extreme that it would be burning up in the front. You would almost be frying your front, and then your backside would be frozen working there. There was a lady that also her job was to feed the workers, and she had come down to feed the workers and had her 5-year-old daughter with her, and when she went down to take the sandwiches into the tunnels, fell down the stairs and broke her neck. The little girl didn't know where her mom was. She went looking for her. Same thing happened to her. She met the same fate in the tunnel. They both broke their neck. Their spirits are said to roam there, and I believe we can tell you that we did have her walk up to me on my left-hand side when we were using Bill Chappell's amazing SLS. And I might have a guest call in a little bit, and we'll go into further detail about the SLS and how that awesome piece of equipment works. And I've never seen something so cool in my life, but we did have quite a bit of activity the whole time we were there, and to actually document what I was feeling was extremely cool. Being an empath, I can't see the spirit. I really can't hear the spirit, but I can just feel them and their emotions or, their presence. I really can't feel or see, I can't see. It just sucks that I can only feel them. But when you have a piece of equipment there that verifies what you're feeling or validates it, it kind of makes you know, A, that you're not as crazy as you possibly thought you were. And it just is so cool that Bill has engineered such a piece of equipment that is actually, it's the Connect. It's what SL is. SLS is like a mobile Connect in your hand, but better. And the evidence that was captured there, I know there was a lot of EVPs. I know that a group of my friends also did an experiment that we did at the Stanley Hotel in the concert hall. There's a little girl there that is said to like to knock dum-dum, the suckers out of your hand. You stuff them in your hand, and they come and move them. So they tried it in the tunnels. I think it was Blaine Rohan and my friends from CSI of the South, and I believe Brenda might have been down there with them, and they were all down there doing this little fruit thing with the little suckers, and it was working. Now, some people claim that this could be idea motor movement or something, like your mind kind of makes your muscles involuntarily move because you want it to. like mind over matter type thing, like almost it sounds like a telekinesis type thing, but through muscle movement. I don't know if I would go for that because I don't really know how my muscle would completely knock a dum-dum out of my hand. When I'm not moving my hand whatsoever, you can see on the video that the hand does not move or twitch or anything. So that I would like to kind of check out a little bit further in another location, but it's the dum-dum suckers that you get in like 100 at Halloween. You just sit it up with the ball on your hand and the stick sticking straight up, and if there's little children spirits or hell, even adult spirits, ask them to try to move it. It worked for us at Stanley, and obviously it was working at Sloth. They have video that we posted. Not only that, but a rookie investigator, I'm going to go ahead and give her a shout-out, Courtney McKinley, her husband Shane McKinley. They were there assisting us with filming, and I want to thank them for that as well. They were there assisting us, and we heard some scuffling going on where there was not supposed to be anyone. She thought we were using a flashlight. Well, actually, it was a video, and it was videotaping. Well, when she pans up, just by accident, she doesn't even know, like I said, it's video, captures what looks to be an African-American male looking over the railing at us. However, all day long, there was no one that even fit that description that come through Sloss while we were there. Not one. Now, we're going to talk with a little bit further about that, but we're going to have to go back over some security tapes just to verify, but from actual Sloss, if they have them, we cannot figure out where this person came from. I don't think it was an actual person. I think she caught a full-bodied apparition. And it's really kind of disturbing looking. But I wanted to give her a shout-out because she's extremely excited about that. So, Courtney, good job. Good capture. We're going to do some further studies and further investigations on what that could be, and we'll see if we can't. I know that Justin and Heather from Sloss tried to debunk it and could not do it. So we'll talk a little bit further about that too, but it was just so much, absolutely so much that happened that it was just an incredible weekend. I, of course, have been sleeping since I arrived home, but now I'm starting to feel at least halfway back to normal. It was just a very busy weekend, and so much activity that, it just keys you up even more. The people that were there, like I said, Carol Malone and her husband Mike, thank you for such a great time. Her daughter Mel, thank you for what all you did for us. Met some of the coolest people. Johnny Sullivan, stuntman, cameraman, badass, his sidekick, Jimmy Belcher. Man, I mean, the coolest people I met this weekend, it will always stick out in my mind because, like I said, whenever you go on an investigation event, you listen to speakers, you go to a little break, you go and do your investigation, and then you're done. Well, it's a little different. Not only did we have the speakers, not only did we have, the camaraderie and the investigation and all that, but we got to watch not once, not twice, 3 and 4 times people getting set on fire and reenacting a horrific accident there just to see if we could prove what happened. Can PHDC rewrite history at Sloss Furnaces? I don't know. I guess we'll see when their show comes out. I know that Spirit Quest, and I can't even tell you guys because I'd have to hurt all of you, but we caught the most amazing evidence and I am so excited. I wish I could tell you all about it, but you'll have to wait. I know I'm a huge tease. You'll have to wait until mid-March when Spirit Quest Episode 1 comes out. It will be well worth the wait. My camera guys have never been so excited in their life to see so much cool stuff to take photographs of, and your camera angles and B-roll shots. And I mean, they were just like two kids in a candy store. You know, it was just a nice environment for all of us. We got a lot of really good stuff. People are still reviewing their audio. People are talking about their experiences. I know there was a lot of people that doubted loss was going to happen, but it happened, and it happened huge. And it was really a good event. And I don't think I've ever been treated with more respect. And not only that, they were just so concerned about, are you good? Do you need anything? They took great care of us. You know, they made hot dogs, and there was just a lot of cool people there. So the next event that you all need to be looking forward to and do not miss is going to be May 1st and 2nd in Tombstone, Arizona. And if that's not on the top of your bucket list in the paranormal world, something wrong. The place is going to be off the chain. We're going to have some of the coolest people there. Again, we're going to have Jeremy Leonard from Ghost Quest Para, Blaine Rohan of Scare out of Alabama, Gary Brown from Spirit Equipment, Randy Hardy from Deep South Paranormal, Kevin Betzer from Deep South Paranormal, Justin Spurrier, my co-guide for Spirit Quest, myself. We got so many cool people. But not only that, but there's going to be Kristen Renton from Sons of Anarchy. You get to pay an extra so much. I can't even remember how much the tickets are, but you get to go investigate with her. She does paranormally investigate too. It's not like we're just throwing her out there to the wolves. She has done it before. She knows what she's doing, and she loves it. So you can get tickets for her too. And then there's Santiago Carrillo, man. He's so cool, from The Walking Dead, Paranormal Chasers. I mean, he's got so many freaking things going on. A Veterans Homecoming. He's going to be there with us. Not to even mention a couple of others that I'm sure I forgot or left out or don't even know about yet, because Carol has all kinds of surprises in store for us all the time. But, you know, I just am so grateful and so excited that we chose to start Spirit Quest when we did and get to start it off with Sloss Furnaces. The show that I'm referring to, my show Spirit Quest, is really about learning from each other. The living and the dead, all over. People, just everyday investigators. We learn something new from each person. So me and Justin are pretty much going around and learning from these people, investigating new places, and it's real. It's not scripted. There's nothing going to be staged at all. If we don't capture nothing, guess what? It's real. We don't capture anything. We can't make them, do stuff on command. And, a lot of these shows that you see get 2 and 3 days at a location, so they can grab all the footage and evidence and everything in a 3-day period, when normal paranormal teams only get a one shot at it. One night, 1 day. That's it. And that's the way we're going to do it. Now, there are times when we may get a location for maybe a day and a half or maybe 2 nights, but that'll be few and far between. We're going to try to do it just like we always do it, one at a time, one night at a time, and we get what we get. Happen to get some amazing stuff for the first episode. We are traveling, Justin and I will be soon traveling to Missouri, Kansas, back to Missouri, and then we're going to be in Tyler, Texas, doing a little something. And then we're going to round off episode 6 at Tombstone, Arizona. So I think that the actual Spirit Quest is a great thing. I think you'll enjoy it. If you'll go to the Facebook page, Spirit Quest, give it a like. You can keep up with what's going on. There's a teaser trailer on there, and like I said, it's a rough cut teaser trailer. And my guys are perfectionists, and they said they would rather change a few things on there, but you know, it is what it is, and it's good. Everyone seems to like it, and they're gonna love episode 1. They promised me some awesome sauce, and I can't wait for them to show me. It'll be mid-March. We'll be looking for it. Brought to you by Jack and Ray Productions and FEAR Paranormal. So if you go and look on FEAR Paranormal Society on Facebook, give us a like. You can keep up with everything we're doing there, too. I've got so many events and so many cool places that we're going. I just got added on to the speaker list at Gulf Coast Paracon. Thank you, Paula Westbrook. And that is in Biloxi, Mississippi, September 25th to the 27th. Check that out and get your tickets, because there's going to be some cool people there, too, and we get to do an awesome plantation. There's a meet and greet the night before, the event the next day, the investigation that night. So you got to check that out. I have a list of all the events that myself or my team will be attending on FEAR Paranormal page or Close to Death by Selena Roane page. You can look to that, too, as my show page. Give it a like. Next week, on my show, just before my guest comes on and we may get kind of sidetracked, next week I'm going to have 24-hour paranormal from East Texas. And they're going to be kind of, I guess they're from Dallas and East Texas. I guess kind of a mixture, but they're going to be on talking about this little event that's going on called a Supernatural Expo. And it's going to be in Lewisville, Texas on July 18th. And it seems to be going to shape up to be a pretty large one-day event. They got vendor spots and all that. They've already got their speakers, I think, set. I will be speaking at that as well. Linda Hill from Hill House up in Gainesville, she will be speaking. I think that's all they've really announced just yet, but we'll talk with them more about that next week. We've got the week after that, I'm actually on I'm a talent coordinator for the Southern Division Parafest 2015, which we are throwing at Billy Bob, Texas, in the Fort Worth Stockyard. We have Randy Hardy coming, and Steve Dushabi is supposed to be signing on, so that ought to be really cool, from the Dead Files. And we also are doing it with some of the proceeds being given to Lost Limbs Foundation. And Mike Couch the founder of Lost Limbs, will actually be there to speak to everyone. So you got to check out all these cool events. We got March 28th in Springfield, Missouri, is a little thing called the Ozarks Phenomenon. It's the first annual, I believe. And these people have worked really hard to put this thing on, and you need to go and check out. Tickets are like $20. I mean, can't beat that. Some cool speakers, a really cool place to investigate, the Shrine Box in Springfield, Missouri. You just got to go to their page, Ozarks Phenomenon. Keep up with that. There's just so many cool things happening in the paranormal community right now. Events that are just off the chain. Carol and Darkside Entertainment has some really cool stuff coming up for us. The Apollo in West Virginia. Can't even tell you the other location because I don't think she's announced it yet. But again, we got Tombstone, the Apollo, and then one other location that I'm not allowed to say. But just keep up with what's going on, because you don't want to miss these events. There's a lot of people, like I said, that didn't think sloth would happen, and they missed out on a really cool thing. Very family type, of a, I don't know, kind of a family affair, I mean, it was like a big para-family. There was really no drama whatsoever, which is really cool, because that is rare. these days. I want to also tell Gary Brown how impressed I am with his head. As far as that's what he calls it, it's a piece of equipment that looks like a skull that is custom painted, and it's got everything under the sun in that sucker, from camera to K2 to, I believe, audio recorder. Everything's in that thing, and I was extremely impressed with it. So look up Gary Brown and his spirit equipment. He's got some really cool ponds that he takes a lot of time in building, and he puts a lot of pride and stuff into it. Kind of upset with the overpriced equipment that has been coming out, and I think he does a fine job, and they're very reasonably priced. And
your guest is there.
Awesome. Well, everybody, I told you I might have a little guest come on, and it would be my co-guide, Justin Spurrier from Spirit Quest. What's up, dude?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, man, how are you? I mean, after this weekend.
I'm a little worn out. I'm a little sloshed out.
You think? I think everybody is. I think we're all just kind of recovering from that craziness.
Man, I tell you, like, a lot of my events will last like 3 or 4 days, and a 2-day event that wears me out as much as a 4-day event. I know I did some quality work. I put in a lot of work because I'm tired.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it was crazy, and I mean, I was just kind of telling them, I was just teasing them a little bit. I didn't really go into a whole lot of detail, but I was kind of teasing them about how much activity from start to finish that we actually encountered, not only us, but other participants in the event. I mean, it seems like everyone had some sort of an experience while we were there.
Yeah, I mean, even all the way down to the person who's never been on an investigation, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what really just ticks me off, you know, is when the new person comes in and gets a capture of something that you've been trying your whole life to do. But I'm very happy for that person.
I've already gave her a shout out. You know, she's like Tickle Pink, that her photograph that she accidentally captured on, you know, it being so like blown up on Facebook. I mean, seriously, what an awesome catch for a rookie investigator. You know what I mean? I'm like, really?
Well, yeah, and it just goes to show that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on it. You know, she had a regular old phone with no fancy, infrared or full spectrum anything. Just a phone with a flashlight.
And that's all she thought she was using. That's what's so weird, is that she had no clue it was actually recording. She thought it was just a flashlight feature. And then when she goes back, she goes, holy crap, man, it started recording on its own. What the hell? And, you know, it wasn't too awkward because, you know, cameras were taking photos on their own and things like that. But
yeah, that was a first.
It was like, wow.
3 or 4 people were having their camera phones turn on and take pictures by themselves. And mine, it was one of those included that did it. So I don't know if the spirits there just particularly are fond of those things or what, but yeah, she did great. And the neat thing was, I think it was a 53-second clip, and the thumbnail that it chose to use was the 22 or 23-second mark, and that's exactly where the apparition is on the screen for all of 4 frames. I got high definition video, and you have to go frame by frame to get it. There's only 2 usable frames to still shot, and it chose those frames as the thumbnail in her phone gallery, which is just amazing.
The whole thing was just crazy. I mean, she was so excited, and just that, and then the thing with Gary, you know, the thing that happened to Gary, where he lost like 10 minutes of his night. He doesn't remember what he said. All he remembers is going over there in the boiler room or somewhere down there in the wheel room. That was the wheel room.
Uh-huh.
Back in the back, and then they took a lot of pictures, and you see this one photograph with the orb on his back. And we've talked about this. Neither one of us are huge on orbs. You know what I mean? We're like, come on. And a lot of them can be debunked or be explained away. The thing that makes you concerned about this is that not the coincidence, but the things that were happening, the events that were occurring as that was being taken. That's the thing that makes you wonder, okay, hold up. They ran into something not so nice. And Gary had to be kind of cleansed back when he got back to the office. He doesn't remember 10 minutes of his night. I mean, it's like a total wash.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, and that's really scary, you know. But, you know, then, I mean, but I was telling the audience, how cool is it that you go on an investigation, you go to these events. Now, sometimes you go to these events, and the people are kind of boring sometimes, or maybe they're not talking about things that you like to hear about or whatever, and then you have to deal with all that, and then you go to the investigation, and maybe things don't happen. Fortunately for the people who came to Floss, it was not the case.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, we had the coolest things, besides the experiences that we all had, and besides the things that we saw and that we, you know, witnessed. But who the hell can say that you go to an investigation or an event and you see not once, not twice, but more than that, people getting set on fire? I mean, how freaking cool is that? You know, and they're running fully engulfed. You know what I mean?
That's the first for me. Never seen a hot chick on fire run so fast.
Right. Right? I mean, literally a hot chick.
She did a great job, and she did it not once, but multiple times. I was like, wow.
I know. I mean, she had bigger cojones than I did. You know, I was like, you go, girl, you know. And just how sweet she is, too, you know. And I'm talking about Mel Heflin. I'm giving her a shout-out. Mel, thank you very much. You are amazing. And, you know, I've already said Johnny and Jimmy were the coolest ever. And it was so neat. And then seeing the shadow figure. And I didn't tell them the history-making crap that we caught because I'm not going to do that. I'd have to, you know, hunt them all. But the piece of equipment that we were using while we were there, now, you know, we can tell them a little bit of what we picked out in the tunnel because we really aren't going to maybe like that. But
that was amazing in itself.
I tell them about the SOS and kind of explain to them a little bit. I told them it was kind of like a Connect in your hand, like a mobile Connect, but better. So can you kind of tell them?
Yeah, and in short, it is utilizing the same technology as Microsoft's Connect, only what Bill Chappell at Digital Dowsing has done is he's upped it quite a bit. You know, he's upped the ante, he's got a bigger processor, everything runs faster, and it's dedicated to doing just one thing, and that's capturing, you know, your image on the screen or an unseen image of another figure, and it does it very well. And it's very portable, and you just carry it around in one hand. There's no more of this carrying a laptop hooked to an Xbox Connect system and all of that. So it's extremely useful, and it's literally one of my go-to devices now, without a doubt. I mean, it proved itself this weekend. I mean, I've used it for the past week before that and other investigations, but that particular moment made it all worth the while.
Oh, definitely. And then, you know, we really can't talk about that moment, but the moment down in the tunnel where, you know, trying to contact Emily and her mom, and of course she liked to be called Lily, or they called her Lily on the side or whatever. You know, we were standing there just kind of messing around with the SOS. We weren't even really being serious. We were just getting started.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wasn't actively doing anything. I was more or less setting it up, you know, and it's already set up, but I was, you know, getting it up and everything. And before, what was it, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds after powering it on, you're just standing there, and this little half-pint stick figure walks right up next to you, and I'm like, look at this. We're not even recording yet. And there's a little stick figure, which is what it, you know, is how it maps it in is as a skeletal stick figure, and similar to how the Xbox works. And
I wish we were recording that puppy because that was craziness. And you know, I knew she was there. I could feel her there, but for you to have it validated on the SLS, I mean, I could kiss Bill Chappell square on his butt right now because that was the coolest thing I've ever I've ever witnessed a piece of equipment. I'm thoroughly impressed with it.
Yeah, and I do have it captured on the device itself. So, we just weren't recording externally, but I do. I went back and was going over it last night and showed the wife. Said, hey, look at this, And,
oh, wow.
Pretty amazing.
So what
I
she
do
said,
have
she was like, wow.
it just, not to get into the religious aspect, but it just chaps my butt that all these people say all kids get a free ride to heaven if they're under a certain age, and then you run into things like that. That breaks my heart, and that's why I do this. And, just having that figure there made her heart melt, knowing that there's a little soul that's lost and stuck there.
Yeah. And reliving her death probably all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of is embedded in the environment, and if she's stuck there, I'm sure she's reliving that crap, and that's what breaks my heart. And it seems like the kids always flock to me, though. It's like I'm like a kid spirit magnet or something, At least I'd rather be that than a nasty ass, entity magnet. I don't want to do that for sure, because it was just crazy stuff. Scratches and nudging and things like that, and just crazy stuff there. But it was definitely lived up to the billing for sure.
Without a doubt, there's a lot of places, but that was definitely a go-to. I'm a go back again type of place for me.
Oh yeah. I think we should, because there are a couple of places that we actually didn't get to explore or investigate in. So there can always be a Sloth Part 2. You know what I mean?
Well, there will be, whether or not you're with me. I'm going to have a Sloth Part 2.
I'm on the same page with you on that one, brother. Let me just tell you. There is, somebody I wanted to thank too, and that's Heather Nowak with Sloth Furnaces. She was just amazing with all the information and the help that she gave us. And and that you and her tried to debunk Courtney's photo, actually. I mean, y'all really did work hard to try and debunk it.
I wasn't going to fly back across the country and not have it, at least have some kind of an effort at figuring out what the heck that was.
So when you did do the enhancements, I couldn't really see on Facebook that well. What exactly are the enhancements? What does it look like? I mean, because to me, he almost looks like a devil monkey looking thing. Because he looks like he's got horns. Like he almost looks like somebody else said it, the Michael Jackson Thriller, where he looks like a werewolf type thing. Except without their nose.
I think a lot of that comes from, I don't know what, the yellow jacket and the extra black face, and you can't see anything, and I don't know, just kind of a thriller look, I guess you could say that.
Well, maybe he was burned, you know what I mean? Maybe he was burnt really badly. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it didn't seem to me that way. I think it was more of a faceless entity, which I seem to encounter a lot, is whether it be in your dreams or out in the field. It seems like a lot of these apparitions will have no face at all. You'll see full detail on a lot of other uniforms or outfits, but faces always seem to be blanked out. So
see, that's
the way I seen it.
When I saw Kenny, when I saw my best friend, what I thought was an actual doppelganger, which could be, now I'm told it could be astral projection of him, because he was coming to check on me but physically couldn't. I don't know. But I was always thinking it was his doppelganger. But the thing was, I could see his hair, and I could see his clothing, and I could see his feet even, and his hands, but I could not see detail on his face. And it was so weird. And I was like, the lighting was not that bad from the street. Why could I not see Kenny's face? Because it was him. You know what I mean? It was him standing in my door. I just could not see detailed face. And it's so weird that you say that the entities you come across mostly are faceless. That's very interesting. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I don't. I've tried to pin it down. There's a lot of people with theories that say why that is, and I don't even know exactly. And that's not my area of expertise by any means. I just kind of go around it. A lot of my dreams are that way. I'll have a key part of my dream that you know, I'm supposed to meet such and such person, but you can't see their face. And that's, you know, that just, I don't understand why. I really don't. But it's just always been that way for me. A lot of faceless entities and apparitions, and I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately.
So when we were actually not investigating or filming or anything, and you were just kind of, did you get a chance to kind of walk around? Did you get any top feelings or weird, like, vibes or anything from a certain area that you remember?
I like to go, yeah, well, I knew I like to go in the daytime, and of course, when I arrived, it was nighttime. I mean, I was going in not only cold in almost every aspect, including the weather and temperature.
Right.
I was going in not knowing where the heck I'm going to set my foot. I couldn't even see what the buildings looked like in person, you know, the structure. So,
right.
So it was all dark, and that kind of let me, you know, that kind of put me on edge a little bit because I was more concerned with my footing and where I'm tripping over. I hear all these stories about pipes sticking out of the ground and people tripping on them, and I was just trying to be more careful than anything. So my senses were tuned to where the heck I was at and how do I get back out of here. I don't want to venture off too far. But there was times when we went down into, I believe it's what's known as the boiler room now.
Yeah.
Or what they referred to as, and just going down the stairs, I think I was with Heather and Carol at that time, and I had my GoPro recording on my head. So I went back over it, and I realized what I said when I was reviewing. But yeah, I went down there, and I said, I can hear them starting to talk to me. This is a really good, you know, room for EVPs or for any kind of communication, because it was like loud voices down there instantly in my ears. And I knew that they weren't necessarily talking to me. It was just a few different ones talking to them, but the echo and the water and everything that's down there must have created some sort of a enhanced echo, because it was extremely loud to me. And then it subsided, of course, and we did turn out to have some great captures in that room, or right next to that room. Yeah.
So have you reviewed the audio, and we?
Oh, I've got it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even talking about that. I mean, just activity in general. I should have said with, you know, sticks and stones being thrown.
Yeah, that too. You know, I mean, I didn't even get into that. I mean, you know, I said that we got a rock thrown at us, and, you know, it was kind of crazy. And it was just, I mean, application at its finest, but it was coming from where she captured that guy on the stairs over there where it was blocked off. Nobody could be there.
I mean, not saying that they can't walk around the yellow tape, and some people do.
Well, but we had a table up, though. We had a big round table Courtney put a big, huge round table in front of the gate and had a cone in front of it. So there was no way. That's why when we heard shuffling, we were like, how in the hell did somebody get down there? You know what I mean? They couldn't have moved that table without us hearing it, you know? That's when she captured that. So it was crazy. That's all I know is that whole place is crazy active, worth every freaking penny that was spent to get there, and every minute that I had to wait to get there, it was so worth it. And the captures, I can't wait to hear what you actually captured on audio, if we caught anything. I know that when I was using my Paranology PDA, I was recording down there in the room with Gary and Connie and all them in the boiler room, and there were actual freaking anomalies. Moving from the corner where Gary and them kept seeing somebody darting behind stuff looking at us, this huge anomaly came up, was darting really strangely, and then came in the room with us. Got it on video. Then I look, and I see this other anomaly come from the same area and go right at Gary. Right at him. And I'm like, okay, they're just coming in here to join us. You know what I mean? They're just coming in. But they were, like, focused on Gary. Then when they went down another time without me because we were filming the last part of it or whatever, they were out doing the same thing in the boiler room, and that's when, they were in the wheelhouse, and that's when all that stuff happened to Gary, and the orbs were everywhere on him. And the red one was too. That's the thing. It was a huge red one on his back. And that's when he lost all track of what was going on. He said that place is like his top place now. I mean, there was a skeptic there that we trained that was so skeptical that didn't believe in any of it. Left there a complete believer. Complete believer. No doubt. Hello? Hello?
You're on here. Go ahead.
Is Justin on again? Hello?
Justin's right there.
Okay. All right, I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
No idea. I was talking
I
today,
just
and next
dropped.
thing you know, you were gone. But
Maybe Sloss Furnace had something to do with that. I don't know. But anyway,
no, that's okay.
Whoever, you know, go ahead.
I would say it's almost like they had picked their mark on him earlier in the evening. You know, is what you're saying, and then that happened.
They just got him, you know. But you know that we have another event, and I already, you know, thank Carol so much for all that she did to bring this event to everybody because it was really cool. I wish more people would have been there because they missed out on some cool stuff. But we have Tombstone, Arizona coming up, dude. Wow. And I can't wait. I don't know about you, but I can't wait.
You've never been yet, have you?
No. Now, tell me about Tombstone. Is this not where Chip Coffey almost messed his britches because of a table?
Yeah, when we were down there, that was great.
Tell everybody about that because we're gonna see if we can't do that again when we go to Tombstone this time. But go ahead and tell them about poor Chip heart attack that he almost had and messed his pants.
When we were investigating Tombstone, and we had split into several groups. So that happened to him was at the Birdcage Theater, and I was actually in a different group at the time, so I got to hear and see what little bit of footage and audio that someone had. But they were sitting around this table. Now, this table is huge. I mean, it's like I think it's probably like at least a 10-foot table, you know, an 8 or 10-foot table, and it's a big square table, and everyone's sitting around it. And I think they'd moved away from their table like a foot and a half, you know, in their chair so that no one was bumping the table and the audio recorders and such. And I don't know what they did. I can't remember exactly what they were doing at that time, but all I know is Chip said and everyone else said, and the audio proved it. Chip said some pretty foul words. Because this table lifted up. This is probably easily a 200-plus pound table lifted up in the air, solid wood, and I guess lifted up about 4 or 5 inches or so, I'm guessing, and just slammed back down, and everything that was on the table, of course, went flying, and people were screaming, and yeah, it was pretty intense. The whole town is just amazing. Wow. It's a huge thrill for me to go there just because of the history, but being able to investigate it. I've only been once, but it hasn't disappointed me. And I lived down in that area and never got to investigate there. So I was thrilled to go there last year, and I guess can't wait to go back this year.
I know, and we get a little bit more access to the town, actually. And if everybody listening goes to the Facebook page, A Haunting at Tombstone, we had 3 VIPs just come open, which means the whole entire weekend is hotel, event, even feed you barbecue. During that time. I mean, Carol takes really good care of her guests. She makes sure that her talent's taken care of. She makes sure that her guests are taken care of. But there's 3 VIPs that come available, and she's got tons of day passes for people that live in the Arizona area that just want to come and do the event, that just want to come and investigate the town of Tombstone. And I'm talking a lot of the town is ours, okay? Things that have never been open to investigate. Go to a haunting at Tombstone and get ticket information there. And like I said, 3 VIPs are open as of today. Don't miss out, because this is going to be amazing. Spirit Quest will be filming their 6th episode. Justin and I are the guys on Spirit Quest. Please go to the Facebook page. Justin, I can't believe how fast 30 minutes went. I know we had a little bump and an interruption, but thank you so much for coming on and you know, giving the people a little teaser of what they're going to get. But listen, Justin and I know that in mid-March, when that first episode from Schloss Furnaces on Spirit Quest comes out, you guys are going to be blown away. Are you not?
I think that pretty much sums it up, man. That's it. I'm still blown away. I'm still blown away.
I don't mean to be bragging. I'm just saying that when me and Justin almost missed our britches, because it's so cool to get things once, but when you get things that are even better, it's just amazing. So we're excited as can be. I'm so excited that you can join me on this thing, Justin, man. I'm beyond words excited. So we're going to rock it. Again, thanks for coming on. Everybody, thanks for listening. Like I said, go to a haunting at Tombstone, get your ticket. We're going to be filming Spirit Quest. Check that out. Check out Justin's page on Facebook, Justin Spurrier. He does all kinds of cool stuff with testing of STD1, Echo Box, Ghost Box. He loves all that stuff. He's awesome at it. Check him out.
Thank you.
And, again, I really appreciate everybody listening. Thank you very much. And next week, 24 Hour Paranormal will join me. Everybody have a good one, and peace out.